sorry.
gosh.
He wanted to go.
Oh,
Hi.
hello.
Are they pretty? Yeah.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yakult too, Mary.
I'll get you Yakult without this one, okay?
Oh.
I was like, I want Yakult too.
That is awesome. That's mom life right there.
Yes.
That's mom life.
Are we having fun? Hell yeah.
I'm Steph. And I'm Kayla, and we're two best friends coping with life the only way we know how, one adventure and a cocktail at a time. All right, welcome back to another episode of Are We Having Fun? This thing's still going on, and Stephanie's
I'm back again. I'm sorry.
We have a new recording schedule, so hopefully people won't just randomly schedule Stephanie to work on this day. So
I'm asking for it off. My bad.
Yeah. Like, don't they know that the podcast is the most important thing in the world by now? I mean, come on.
No, they don't.
Speaking of podcasts, this was a total accident, but over the weekend, I was in Florida and we didn't get to see each other, even though I was in Orlando.
For the second time. Last time I didn't see you.
Last time, I know, it's crazy. But
BS.
I was at my brother's high school graduation, and in my culture, it's very important to give someone a lei. And my mom was going to order a lei, but we just couldn't find one in time. So it's literally 11 o'clock the night before the graduation. And I'm like, I'm going to bed. Like, this is an early day for me, the graduation at 10 a.m. And my mom comes up to me the next morning, an hour before the graduation. Like, I'm finishing up, getting ready. Didn't even actually wear makeup. But my mom goes, I found these YouTube videos and we're just going to make a lei. We're just going to do it. And so turns out I know how to make leis now.
What do you use? Is it like
for the moment?
Ring or ribbon?
Yeah, so ribbon. So we made ribbon leis. And once, of course, I made one for my brother. Then his friends saw it and they wanted ones for their graduations. And I was like, oh, shoot, one of my cousins is graduating college. I got to make him one now. So we got a whole shebang going on. And it's on our Etsy page. It's on our website. But you could also go to etsy.com/shop/AWHF to view it. I mean, I'm pretty proud of them. So
you can make like baby ones for like preschool graduations. You get all in this.
I mean, I'm going to make them for bachelorette parties. I'm going to make them for graduations.
You could probably make like headbands,
corporate events.
Too.
I'll make headbands or whatever you want. I
told you, jack of all trades. Kayla will do anything.
I will do anything for money and clout. No, I'm kidding. Money and clout. Money and clout. Money and So anyway, we're gonna get right into the episode because we do have a guest, so we don't want to be running her up, but we do know her personally. We're super excited to have her on the show, and she is a registered nurse specializing in labor and delivery and maternal children. She is a wife and a mama of 3. She has a 2-year-old boy and 1-year-old twin girls. So she has her hands full and more. Okay. She was born in the Philippines and raised in Orlando, Florida, just like my mother. And she's my mom. No, I'm kidding. And yeah, I'm a 2-year-old boy. Yeah. And so
she has a 27-year-old daughter and 1-year-old girl.
I want to welcome Shannen Bustillo to the show. Welcome.
Hi, guys. Oh, my gosh. I love this.
We're so excited to have you on. It's funny because
I'm excited.
You messaged when we were looking for new guests, and we've kind of just been doing the show on our own. And then all of a sudden we just started having all these people on the show, and we're like, let's
back
keep
to
this
back
going.
to back.
Just bring on cool people to talk to. And then you're like, I'm not famous, but and I'm like
I'd love to chat with you girls.
Like, well, neither are we.
Yeah, I'm like
probably more famous than we are, to be honest.
Honestly, come on. Your family's probably like 100 people, and we only know like 10 people in our lives. So I'm just kidding. We got our drinks today. And Shannen, what are you drinking?
So I am drinking in a red Solo cup. I mixed
Super fancy.
Bringing it back from college.
exactly mom life, right? I'm drinking. I mixed pineapple Malibu rum with. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called Yakult, which is like a yogurt drink. Usually sold in like Asian stores or Oriental markets. And your mom might have Kayla.
Probably.
Yeah, it's
That's
very
good. Mixed with
it's
rum.
very good together. Yeah,
mixed with rum. It's like I think of like kefir. Is that how you say it? Kefir.
Yeah, so
but
it's
that's
not,
like thick. I don't think it's thick like that, right?
It's not thick like that. Oh,
thick.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
kefir is like
it's not
straight
thick like
yogurt.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not thick like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, probably she has.
How do you spell it?
Yeah.
Shoot the spelling.
Yes, it's Yakult. So it's like a yogurt type of milk, very
Yakult.
and the same consist. Yeah,
Yakult.
Yakult. Then you gotta say it like a Yakult.
Yakult. Filipino's coming out.
It's very good.
Yeah, exactly. So just a little bit of mix of that. It's very good. Popular drink for Asians, I think.
Okay,
and
we're gonna mix it
Kayla,
with
we're
some
trying
alcohol.
that next time.
I know, seriously. Okay, so like I'm living in Minnesota right now, and they don't really like have Oriental markets in my area. So like I found one Filipino, or three technically, but like one
far?
that I see a lot, and she has to go down to Minneapolis, which is 2.5 hours away, to buy groceries in bulk. I'm like,
oh my god.
And then bring it back and have it last like weeks.
Yeah,
that's
probably
crazy.
stocking. Like they're probably stocking their market. Like there's a market, but it's like in a gas station. It's not like a real market.
Oh my god!
It's a whole thing up here.
She's trying. She's trying her best.
I'm trying. Yeah. So I'm not gonna find Yakult up here. Up here. That's a joke my mom has.
You know what? Do you have a Walmart there at least?
Yes.
Or I would say not Publix, but the Walmart occasionally sometimes have it in like their like dairy section because it's refrigerated.
Would that be in Minnesota though? We're
well, exactly
population white people. Like there's nobody else.
It's like Norwegian. It's like Viking culture
like
up
Orlando,
here.
It would make sense because it's like a melting pot. But up there, I don't know.
Exactly. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's delicious. You guys should.
I'm gonna look it up because I'm moving to California, so chances are my uncles are gonna give it to me at some point.
Oh yeah. They'll have it everywhere there.
They make me eat the weirdest things because they're like, "Oh, this white girl."
Yeah.
See what she eats, and I'm like, I'll eat anything. Okay.
Right.
Like I'll eat more than your son.
I'm white on the outside. I'm not white on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. I'm making Lay's now, so come on.
Yeah.
We got our drinks today, and Shannen, what are you drinking?
So I am drinking in a red Solo cup. I mixed
super fancy.
Bringing it back from college.
Exactly, my usually sold in like Asian stores or Oriental markets. And your mom might have Kayla.
Probably.
Yeah, it's
that's
very
good. Mixed with rum.
It's very good together. Yeah,
mixed with rum. It's like I think of like kefir. Is that how you say it? Kefir.
Yeah, so
but that's like thick. I don't think it's thick like that, right?
It's not thick like that.
Thick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kefir is like straight yogurt.
Yeah. Okay. It's not thick like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, probably she has.
How do you spell it?
Yeah.
Shoot the spelling.
Yes, it's Yakult. So it's like a yogurt type of milk, very and the same consist. Yeah,
Yakult.
Yakult. Then you gotta say it like a Yakult.
Yakult. Filipino's coming out.
It's very good.
Yeah, exactly. So just a little bit of mix of that. It's very good. Popular drink for Asians, I think.
Okay, and we're gonna mix it
Kayla,
with
we're
some
trying
alcohol.
that next time.
I know, seriously. Okay, so like I'm living in Minnesota right now, and they don't really like have Oriental markets in my area. So like I found one Filipino, or three technically, but like one that I see a lot, and she has to go down to Minneapolis, which is 2.5 hours away, to buy groceries in bulk. I'm like,
oh my god.
And then bring it back and have it last like weeks.
Yeah,
that's
probably
crazy.
stocking. like they're probably stocking their market. Like there's a market, but it's like in a gas station. It's not like a real market.
Oh my God.
It's a whole thing up here.
She's trying. She's trying her best.
I'm trying. Yeah. So I'm not gonna find Yakult up here.
Yes.
Up here. That's a joke my mom has.
You know what? Do you have a Walmart there at least?
Yes.
Or I would say not Publix, but the Walmart occasionally sometimes have it in like their like dairy dairy section because it's refrigerated.
Would that be in Minnesota though? We're
exactly
white people. Like there's nobody else.
It's like Norwegian. It's like Viking culture
like
up
Orlando,
here.
It would make sense because it's like a melting pot. But up there, I don't know.
Exactly. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's delicious. You guys should.
I'm gonna look it up because I'm moving to California, so chances are my uncles are gonna give it to me at some point.
Oh yeah. They'll have it everywhere there.
They make me eat the weirdest things because they're like, "Oh, this white girl."
Yeah.
See what she eats, and I'm like, I'll eat anything. Okay.
Right.
Like I'll eat more than your son.
I'm white on the outside. I'm not white on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. I'm making Lay's now. So come on.
Yeah.
We're super excited to have you on talking about women's health and motherhood, which the two of us have no idea about, but we are actually, we're both in a family of 4. Stephanie is the youngest. Are you the youngest?
I'm not a family of 4. Mine's a family of 6. 4 kids. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 4 kids.
Okay, 4 kids.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. We come from like a family of a lot of siblings.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm the youngest, you're the oldest. So that's why we're like
so cute. We're excited because a lot of our friends are, having babies and also just like at an age where we really need to be aware of how to take care of ourselves. And this could even go for like men too.
Yeah.
Like we're not going to be like super gross, like call her daddy early days talking about like the nitty gritty of sex or anything. But like, I think anybody could take things away for their significant others, even if they're, not personally dealing with these things. We're going to let you take over the show today.
Take over.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about how you became a nurse, because I mean, we knew each other in high school, so we really had no clue what we were going to be doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know if you guys know, but my mom is a nurse. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I was in high school. My 2 options were to be a teacher or to be a nurse, and
or a scientist or a okay,
a lay
right.
There's a lot of possibilities.
Exactly. Piano player, singer. But yeah. So I guess, to be honest, I just got that inspiration from my mom. But I do remember when I was younger, like my sister and I were younger, maybe like 10, 11, we would watch these OBGYN shows. Like one of them specifically was called Deliver Me. And I remember we were like, we want to be OBGYNs. And then we got to school and we're like, hell no, that's so fucking long.
It's so much work.
Like,
I mean, kudos to people who became OBGYN.
I know.
Oh my God. That's like 10 straight years of schooling. Screw that.
Yeah, they're like they're just now becoming doctors.
Yes, seriously. So I remember from that moment, I was like, well, it kind of came back to me after high school when I was in college. I was like, you know what? I think I do like have a passion for, women and children. And I used to work when I was in high school, my senior year, I started working at KDU, which is the daycare right across Dr. Phillips Elementary. And I guess from then on, it was just all about babies, and until now I have my own. So
you loved it that much. You're like, let's go.
Yes, so I was like, let's do this. But yeah, so I guess that's how I kind of, stumbled upon, well, not really stumbled, but I guess how my passion for nursing and women and children kind of grew, because I was in that environment a lot. So
yeah.
And so are you just like a general nurse, or did you have to get like certain things to be a labor and delivery nurse? Like, do you have like a certain certification that other people don't have, or how does that work?
So as far as nursing, so if you go through nursing, you basically get a nursing degree, which either you can choose associates or bachelors, and I just happened to choose bachelors. And I just went ahead and did like the typical 4-year route of nursing. And after that, you take something called an NCLEX, which is for your to become a licensed registered nurse. And after that, you kind of just basically choose the specialty that you would like to do. But in my last semester of nursing school, they did, give us options to a specific floor that we like to shadow more. So I specifically chose labor and delivery, and I know there's others who did like the OR or the ER or ICU, things like that, but I specifically chose that. And from there, I kind of just networked because not a lot of hospitals hire like right out of school nurses to be in labor and delivery. And I was fortunate enough to be able to be one of those candidates. So that's kind of what I did. That's how I got into that. Yeah.
Awesome. And so how many years have you been doing it so far? So
this would be my 3rd year doing it. And I don't think I would change my specialty at the moment, at least. So who knows down the road, but at the moment, I don't think I have an interest in changing what I want to do. So.
That's awesome. That says more than like most people can say, honestly. So that's a beautiful thing to have that and know that this is what you want to do. So.
Yes. It can be stressful at times. I'm sure you guys know with COVID and everything. Yeah. Sometimes I just want to be like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to go back to work, but
I literally just texted Stephanie that during work.
Like, she's like, I'm so bored. I need out.
Yes. And I think that's normal with any kind of job that you do.
Yeah. But it's like the monotonous, like you're doing the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it's not like a bad job.
I have that 100%.
Yes.
We're ready for this to pop off.
Yeah.
Yes. I would love for it to pop off.
So what are you doing for work right now? I saw a little bit about Stanford Health. Were you a traveling nurse?
Yeah, so I was a traveling nurse. I worked at Advent Health Celebration for the first, from the moment I graduated to nursing school until the moment I left to go travel. So when you're travel nursing, you basically have a recruiter and they send your profile to certain hospitals, but you kind of choose the hospitals that you want to go to. And then I stumbled upon Stanford and I was like, well, I know I have an uncle who's at Stanford. Obviously he's not my maternal child, but I was like, I could ask him for some insight if he likes the facility. And, with Stanford being a prestigious name, it kind of, I would expect it to be kind of a good company, a good, facility to work for. And then I submitted my profile for that. And I submitted my profile for hundreds of different hospitals, but the travel nursing is so competitive because the pay is so competitive. So, they want, I guess, good candidates to work for them. But I submitted for that one and I kind of got the job. So I was like, okay, we're going to California.
Yay. That's awesome.
Such an adventure. And so for anybody that doesn't know, Celebration is basically Disney World. And and then Stanford, as if nobody knows where that is near San Francisco, both of which are very prestigious areas to be doing healthcare. So that is a super big accomplishment. And you moved your whole family.
I moved all of my kids along with my husband. I dragged them along. And of course, when I told my husband, I was like, I'm so burnt out from COVID. I need to change. I loved the unit I worked for at Celebration. I loved my coworkers. It was just, I think the heat of COVID made it huge impact on everyone. And I was like, I need to do something else. So that's when he was like, and that's when I brought up travel nursing and he's like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, wait, for real? Because
that's awesome.
He would have so I'm so thankful.
Because that's like a family commitment, it's not just
yes, exactly.
It's like I want to do this, but you have to be okay to literally pick up your life and move with me. So that's awesome.
Honestly, that's the life for me. I love that. I love uprooting my life every couple of years.
Yeah, it was either leaving my kids and my husband home and going by myself or and I was like, no, I can't do that. And the girls were still not even a year old yet when I left. So I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah. Aww. Oh my gosh.
So what does a day-to-day look like for you?
So a day to day, like as a labor and delivery nurse, we typically work with women who, are going to deliver babies, whether that's vaginally or C-section. Um, and once it depends on like the facility you work with. So for example, like with Celebration, if you were on the labor and delivery unit, we focused more on mom. And then there were other nurses who focused more on the baby once the baby's born.
Okay.
But when I did work at Stanford, you can, basically you were given any role that you were capable of. And that was, within your guidelines as a nurse, within your scope of practice. But I would say 90% of the time we were working with moms who are ready to deliver the baby.
And just making sure that they're like prepped. I don't know if prepped is the right word. I think of like food or like an animal.
That's well, because when the doctor comes in, they're literally there to like push the baby out and then they're out, right? Like you guys handle the whole before and the whole after.
Yes.
So basically y'all are the real heroes.
True. Are you ever doing like, see, this is how far removed I am from health sciences now, but are you doing crowd control is what I want to call it? Like, are you like dealing with like, whoever else is in the room, like a husband or whatever, like, do you see yourself like having to kind of, I imagine if I were a nurse, I would be doing like almost like a therapy session as the as the lady is giving birth, like it's gonna be okay.
Like, no, that's exactly what we do, especially when it's like pushing time. Sometimes women come in to be induced, and the induction process can take days. Yeah. So especially if it's your first baby, so that can take days, depending on if your cervix is cooperating with you, and sometimes when it's your first baby, you don't know, I guess technically, if the baby will fit through the pelvis. You don't really know that until you actually start getting into active labor. But yeah, so when it does come to pushing time, we will be whatever the mom wants us to be. We will get her water. Anything like ice pack. You want an ice pack? So we're there for her to support her, and because this is like a vulnerable time in their life, and this is also like probably the most painful time in her life. So we always want to be there for her, and also for the women that come in with like the partners or the dads or mom in-laws, we help them help support mom. Like if they want to be more active with supporting mom, then we allow them to do whatever they like. I know some moms will do like essential oils. I know some moms will do like if they want music, they do that. So we try to be there to be their advocate and take care for them that way. Yeah.
One time I saw like an at-home birth, which is obviously very different, but I don't know where I was watching this, but there was like it might've been a movie. I don't know, but there was a whole choir singing to the lady giving birth. So like, I want that.
Yes, you will have patience. You'll have any and all patience.
Do you use like, because you've had 3 babies yourself, do you like ever like draw on those experiences, like to them, like, hey, I've been through this is what I did. Yeah. I feel like that's like valuable information. It's better than just like, oh, you got this,
Yes, all the time. So with Aiden, my first one, so both my babies, or all 3 of my babies were C-section babies. But with Aiden, I went through the whole labor process. Just what happened. So I've felt the contractions. I've, the pain that comes with that, the pain that comes with being induced. So I kind of, channel that experience to the moms that, I come across, and I kind of tell them like, hey, this is, once this is done, that's it. Like you get to meet your little one that you've been waiting for. The pain that you're experiencing now will be all over. You won't even remember it, like, to be honest. So that's honestly my favorite part of being a labor and delivery nurse, is to tell them my experience. And also for the moms that are C-section moms, because I went through a C-section that was planned versus Aiden, who was an emergency section. I've gone through both. So the moms that are planned, that sometimes they're anxious and they don't know what to expect. But I also tell them my experience that way, like, hey, I've been through this too, and if it helps, this is what I felt, and this is what you may feel during the procedure. Like you may get nauseous, things like that will help them kind of know what to expect and what's going to happen in the next, few hours. So.
Wow. It's it's such a different experience when you've been through it already.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Because it adds like a layer of trust there.
Exactly.
And you could probably see like the stage that they're in of like, like not even just like the dilation, but like their like pain, their like mental stage. You've been there. So you're like, oh, I know exactly where you are.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. It's like an indescribable feeling when those contractions, like I don't think a woman can describe how it feels unless they've been through it themselves. Because a lot of times we tend to say like, oh, it's cramping, like we're on our period, as women. But
it's
then
not like
when you really experience it, you're like, what the hell is this? This is not cramping.
They lied to me.
Exactly.
You guys like administer the epidural? Is that you or is that a doctor?
So it's the doctor. Anesthesia, like the anesthesia side will do that. And sometimes there are nurses called nurse anesthetists, and they go through school. It's basically like a doctorate level program. They go through school to be able to
I know somebody that's doing that actually.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's the hardest shit. I see her post. She's like, I need to do it. Cause it's basically a doctorate degree, but it's like nurse,
basically
whatever. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the hardest like nursing program ever. And I'm like, kudos to my friends who've done it because they had to stop working to be able to get through it.
Yeah.
So,
You can't. Like I heard it's literally impossible. You can't hold down a job while you're studying for that.
Yes, literally.
We kind of prefaced how you've been through it and you're able to help people as they're giving birth. And I feel like you can help, especially some of our friends that do listen to the podcast or new mothers or even have been mothers for a couple of years, but they can relate, they can think back and like, so what's one thing that you could like give advice to new moms out there?
Like, oh my gosh.
Maybe like once they're already home.
Yeah, start the list.
Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh. There's a lot, but I would say that the best advice I can give to a new mom that just came home from the hospital, they are like, I just came home with this fresh baby. What the heck am I going to do? I would say that it gets easier day by day. Like you think that, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Like, not really. Okay, not the end of the world. Scratch that.
Life as I know it is over.
The end of the world. Screw this kid. No.
And we cut the episode. No.
But I just remember coming home, me and my husband, fresh newborn. And I had a C-section, so I was like in a lot of pain. And I was like, what the heck do we do? Like, and it's a lot of things at once navigating to be a mom. Like, you're the only one who can, provide breast milk for your baby. Your husband can do a lot for you, or your partner can do a lot for you, but they can't feed the baby. So that was a hard thing for me. I was like waking up every hour, 2 hours for my son to eat. And I was like,
either that or your body will wake you up because it's like, it's time to get out of my system. Like,
yes, exactly. And I just remember like looking over, like my Aiden was finally asleep, and I looked over to Justin, my husband, and I was like, that was hell. Like that night was hell.
The first night.
Yes, it was hell. But I can tell all the new moms out there that it just gets easier day by day. And you start to learn your groove and find like little things that your child, little cues that, hey, this is actually what they need. Their cries, I'm sure a lot of moms have heard this, like certain cries can mean different things, and you kind of just have to figure that out day by day.
And you're not going to know that straight off the bat, but like seeing it over again and like kind of like the pattern you recognize eventually.
Exactly.
So new moms, don't feel intimidated.
I don't know if it's intuition, bodily cues. I'm trying to think of the words there. They don't speak. So
I know. Exactly.
I sound so dumb in this episode. I'm like crowd control, animal control.
It's been a while since I've been in school, but
I mean, I've babysat like I don't know how many. I should get testimonials for how many people I've babysat in my day, because I kind of was. Once I turned 21, I was like, I'm never babysitting again. I'm done with this. Like I'm over it.
You're the oldest of four. You were like the built-in babysitter.
I was like I was a babysitter for all my cousins, and
you
then
were a babysitter before you got
in
paid.
college, and then once I even got paid to babysit, I'm just like, they're like, my baby is like a month old. I'm like, I don't give a like. The baby's gonna sleep. Like, this is
give him to me.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
I got this.
Not that dumb, guys. I did want to ask. So you are the only person that. Wait, are you a high school sweetheart situation?
Yeah, I am.
Yes, you are, and I know that.
Yes. Okay.
I was at your birthday. Do you remember that?
She was at my 16th birthday.
I was at her birthday when he came for the first time. That was the first time they hung out.
I was like, wait a second here.
I have a picture, dude. Like, that was
me too.
Oh my
so
God,
long ago.
Find it. You, in your relationship, have been with him for so long. Mm-hmm. How did that morph from like the beginning stages and then through like having a family?
Oh my gosh, it's been such a freaking journey.
Yeah.
It was it's funny because like the previous episode I was listening to about the exes one, I was dying.
You listened to when I spilled the drink all over the laptop.
Yes,
getting so
hyped.
Oh my gosh.
That was funny because I was like, I don't remember the last time I had an ex. Like, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was high school, so I was like, oh.
That doesn't even count at that point.
I know. But yeah, it's such a journey. We watched each other grow up. Like, I guess it wasn't, not necessarily, we weren't like forbidden love or anything like that, but after Dr. Phillips, like, he moved to like a different part of town, and so it was harder to see him, and he was like a grade above, so like it was a lot of like sneaking out and like a lot of beating around like behind parents' backs and things like that. But
that's real though.
Yes. I was like,
we're all about vulnerability here. The real shit.
I was like, wow, I really was in love with this guy. Huh?
I was gonna say, what you're a little rebel there.
Yes. But it was amazing watching each other grow up. Like, I have, he has been through literally all my graduations, like my high school graduation, like my Valencia graduation, my nursing one. And so I'm, I guess, so very fortunate and so lucky to have him and to have someone who's like super supportive. And
that's big.
Yeah. And I know it's sometimes or nowadays it's like hard to find, a person that you really click with, that you think will support your dreams and goals, no matter how, drastic it is, like moving to California.
Yeah. Or starting a podcast and then moving to California.
Exactly. There you go. So it was great watching each other grow up. And I can say, and he's literally an amazing dad. And I'm not just saying that because he's my husband. I'm saying that because when I had Aiden, I had I had C-section, and I went through something called postpartum blues, which is normal for a mom to go through. It can last like 1 to 2 weeks. It was a combination of like being a first time mom, of course, which is very overwhelming. Breastfeeding is already hard enough as it is. He was there for me. He was like, what do you need? Like, do you want me to go out there and buy formula for the baby? Like, I will go out there and buy formula for the baby. He's been like, he was nervous. Like, I saw him like kind of being worried to the point where like he lost some weight because he was worried about me. He wasn't worried as much about the kids, because he knew that like with the kids, I think that part came naturally for him. Like, he was like, I got this. I know what they need. I know what they, things like that. Like, I can solve this on my own for now while I try to help my wife cope with something that a lot of women, unfortunately are afraid to kind of, tell people, that they go through that. So that part, I could tell he was nervous and he was scared for me. And again, like literally, like I'm a planner, so like I like to plan stuff. I like to plan like going on vacations, like every little thing. So when he saw that I was like not doing, like I was out of my norm, he was like, this is not the same Shan that I used to know, or like that I, before having kids.
Yeah.
So that's when he was like, yeah, you have to ask for some help, and there's nothing wrong with that, So
yeah, that's big. I mean, one, asking for help, but two, like having somebody being like, you need to ask for help. Like
Yes,
you can't
and
do it all alone.
Yeah,
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
I always think I'm gonna just figure it out, and I'm like, no, wait, teamwork,
Yes,
teamwork.
exactly, exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about. I didn't know there was a difference between postpartum blues and postpartum depression. So I definitely think this is going to resonate with people. So could you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I'm obviously not a doctor, so I don't diagnose, but from nursing school, from what I've learned, postpartum blues comes normally after pregnancy, and maybe not 100% of women experience it after giving birth, but it is basically exactly what it says, like exactly what it is. Like it's the blues. You feel down, like you're not sure, like, why you're feeling a certain way. And that's mostly because your hormones are kind of shifting back to its normal level, because when you had baby inside of you, your hormones were up here, trying to grow the baby and help, baby's nutrition. But once the baby's born, once the placenta comes out, that's when that shift kind of happens in your body to try to regulate itself. And the blues can last for up to 2 weeks. But and it's nothing. It's like basically feeling down and sad, but it's nothing severe or drastic, as in thoughts of harming yourself, things like that. But once you pass that like 2 week period, 2.5 week period, you still feel like that same down, depressed feeling, but it's kind of getting worse a little bit. That's when it kind of the definition changes more into postpartum depression.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And how long, I mean, I'm sure it's depression, so it could last forever, but like how long does that typically, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know.
It's not postpartum anymore. It's just depression.
How long does that typically last to where like you either have to get help or like you really know it's a problem? Because like you can be down for like a month, but if it's like 6 months or like,
Right. So, past that 2-3 week period and you're like, this is still not me. I still don't feel the same. Like a mom will start noticing like, or their partner, for example, like in my situation, they're going to start noticing changes like in your diet, and maybe like you don't feel like eating anymore, or like you're overeating. And things like what I experienced, like you didn't want to bond with your baby. You didn't want to wake up to feed your baby, things like that. You don't want to, wake up for the day even. But postpartum depression can last for 6 months up to a whole year. So,
wow.
Yeah, I know that's a long time. Like
very long.
Imagine like your baby's born and like they're a year old and you're still kind of experiencing the effects of like giving birth. Yeah.
But does it generally go away? This is a real thing that happens, and some mothers have more trouble than others bonding with their baby. What I'm thinking about, and I'm just trying to phrase it right, is after a year, right? So the baby is starting to develop their own cognitive skills, and at some point, does it start to become like a habit of a relationship between the mother and the child, where that needs to be addressed by a professional?
So I think,
I don't know if I'm asking that right.
No, I think I understand what you're saying, but I think also like, it depends. Obviously each situation is different. So, but there's not saying that it can affect like a mom and baby bond in the future. Like if, for example, like if postpartum depression kind of just turns into depression, if someone doesn't, seek the right help, things like that, then yeah, I would say it can definitely affect like a mom and baby's bond. And unfortunately, like I haven't, seen it myself with work or anything, but there are cases where, the mom tries to harm the baby, and that's not because like she really wants to, but it's because she's going through that depression. Those are kind of signs that we see that moms think about harming themselves, others, their babies. And there are times where it can lead to that, like especially like if they don't seek help. That's why we always at work, we're always like, that's something we ask all the time. Like, Have you, I know this is an uncomfortable question to ask, but have you thought of harming yourself? Have you thought of harming others? Or like, if it's not their first baby, like, have you thought of, have you had postpartum depression in the past? Because that can make, you know, this baby, this time around, this postpartum, you know, it recur again. And, you know, who knows for how long, depending on, you know, how you cope with things and how much help you get, you know.
I think this is like I did not expect the episode to go this way, but
I know, I'm sorry.
No,
we were talking about this, like vulnerability.
My two favorite things to study were nutrition and psychology. Like
That's awesome.
I'm thinking in terms of my own life as well, and people around me, but I think this is like important to say that like this stuff does happen, and if it is happening to you, like know that you shouldn't be ashamed by it, because it's not just you, and like seeking help is okay. Like that, I think that's like a big thing to take away.
Yes, I agree with that.
I'm totally to blame for bringing it down, but no, I think this is super intriguing conversation, and there's going to be people that weren't expecting this in the episode that might relate to it. So
yes, I totally agree. And, you know, because myself, like, I was kind of embarrassed to even be like, talk to my doctor about depression. Like, you know, like mental health is, just because mental health, like, you don't see it physically doesn't mean that it's not going on, like here, like in here, you know. It's something a lot of people struggle with, especially nowadays. Like, you know, with COVID, like, everyone is cooped up at home, and, you know, they don't know what else to do. Like,
right.
But yeah, like I was kind of embarrassed at first to even like tell. And one I remember one time my sister, she came over, and this is when Aiden was first born, and she was like holding him, and all of a sudden, like, it got quiet, and she like ran to the bathroom, and she saw me just crying in the bathroom. She was like, oh my gosh, like, are you okay? And like, my sister is also a labor and delivery nurse, so she was like, what's going on? Like, you need to tell me. Like, she knows. Yeah, she was like, okay, like, you know. So I was like, oh, I'm fine. And like, I wasn't fine, you know. So it was.
And you had one of your babies like during COVID, right?
Yeah, the twins. I had them during COVID.
Both of them.
So
I feel so like, not sorry, that's not the right word, but you know what I'm saying? For moms that had to do that during COVID, because not only like the whole health situation, but like you said, like postpartum depression, people were getting depressed in COVID just because of COVID, not even because they had a baby.
Exactly.
So now you're getting like double whammied, you know, during that time. That must have been a lot.
Exactly. I agree with that, because I think not that we were seeing like high rises of like depression, but I can, like, from what I've experienced, like, I feel like, who knows, a lot of women out there could be going through what I was going through, because COVID, you can't leave the house, especially the newborn, you know?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to leave the episode there, but I'm like,
that's depressing.
That is,
yes.
Well, and that is our show, guys. No. But no, I think that like everything you said is so important. And I mean, it was even hard. It's still hard for me, like just being in an area where generally there aren't as many people, when I'm used to Orlando and there's just something to do around every corner. And it's like people everywhere, even when you don't want them to be there, like, you know.
Exactly.
But then on top of that, with like COVID, I sometimes feel like I don't even know how to like act in society anymore. You know, like I'm still trying to figure it out. So like it's different for everybody. So what's next for you? What do you see yourself doing? Like, what are you doing now? Like, what's the hot gossip? No, I'm kidding.
What's the hot gossip right now?
Let's gossip.
Next? Just kidding. What's next for me is, so I think that, you know, when I went through that depression stage with my kids, I definitely, like you mentioned, like, was that affect bonding with your children? And I think it definitely did affect me when they were a little bit younger. So what I'm doing now is actually, I just took a work from home position, and I know that may be like like you're working from home with kids there. Like that probably sounds a lot to some people, but I think that it will definitely benefit me in the long run because I will be there, you know, I will be able to see more from my kids, I guess is what I'm saying. Because I know a lot of people don't know nurses' schedule, but we work 12-hour shifts and it's like 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. or 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the drive back and forth, that already takes another hour or so. So by the time I get home, usually when I was working at the hospital, it was like 9 p.m. and they were, you know, getting ready for bed. And I don't get to see them as much. But I think right now I just took a work from home position. I think this will benefit me, and you know, it will help, you know, benefit also my husband, you know, because we'll see each other more. So
build a relationship with your kids too more. I mean, you'll be home.
Exactly. Yeah. Bond with them more, you know, kind of see the milestones, because you know these are like the little things that you don't really want to miss when they're young at this age. So I think that's what's next for me. And then I think that's basically it. I do
take it day by day.
Yes, and I do in the future. I would love to, because of my own experiences, I'm planning to go back to school to do like mental health nurse practitioner. So hopefully that is something I will be able to kind of advocate for, especially for women. So I think that's the best of both worlds for me, like women and children, and you know, doing mental health and helping them you know, in the future.
And going through it yourself too, you know how important that is. So
exactly.
That's awesome.
Get this girl a TikTok page. She's gonna start talking about her experiences.
Oh my gosh,
viral.
That's the thing. Like I'm so not creative. Like
no, awesome. Literally. Like my dad. Okay, my dad's on TikTok now. If my mom listens to this, if my mom listens to this, she's gonna show him. But my dad's on TikTok because he's been doing his own business, and so like he started his first video where he like highlighted some of his jobs. And then he sent another video where he was like talking, and you know, he's like dealt with the military and then firefighting. So he's had his own like mental health journey. And I'm like, that is what you should be posting on your TikTok. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, listen, like that's what TikTok's all about. Your people are gonna find you, you know. So it's just every time somebody has like a story, I'm like, that's for TikTok.
Yep.
Nice.
We don't even share our own stories on TikTok.
I know, right?
Like
I'll hear about it on your TikTok.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed this episode. It's so different than any of the other ones we've done because it was business oriented, but it was also very personal and vulnerable is like kind of a word we talked about going into the episode, and it was really fun.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Yeah, and like, you know, you just never know with looking at someone. Like everyone, all my friends here were like, you're so happy. And I'm like, you know?
Yeah. I know. It reminds me of my own family. I'm like, why are we so good at disguising? Like,
it's just like, I know. It's like Instagram and Facebook and like, yes, I have pretty pictures, but that's not all it is. You know, that's not real life. It's not real life. Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they always say. Social media is not real life.
But this podcast is real life. So subscribe. I'm just kidding, but I'm not kidding. So subscribe to Are We Having Fun? No. The plug will come. But also, if people did want to follow you, do you have any public pages, or, you know, if they wanted to, I guess, visit you at work? Is that a thing?
When you not a thing. She works from home.
I work from home now. But I just started one. I haven't been really too active on it, but I just started an Instagram page called Proud Mama RN. So I'll just post random stuff about there with my kids and, you know, my journey. And this, I guess, you know, you guys have inspired me. I think maybe I will start to post and share my experiences because I don't know who's out there listening and watching.
Who
and
needs to hear it.
If I have any advice for that is you're going to want to tell it all in one video. But if you just save it to like 30 seconds, you know, like one little snippet, and then they're going to need to know the other snippet, and then the other, and then instead of having 2 videos, you have like 10 videos.
Yes.
So
that's
a
very
good way
smart.
to,
See, I needed you too because I'm not creative.
Yes. That's my advice to you as a social media guru that doesn't take it very seriously. I'm just kidding. But thank you so much for coming on the show. And everybody go follow Proud Mama RN on Instagram.
If you guys have any questions for her, DM us and we can definitely like ask you, right? And then we can reply back to people.
I'd love to.
If you have any questions about like, you know, if you have a newborn baby or anything about the delivery process, things like that.
Yes.
Let us know. We'll get them over to Shannen and then
I would love to
talk to an actual professional, you know, as long as it's nurse related.
Right.
Yes.
So we'll catch you on the next episode. We're going to keep these guests going and definitely do follow us. We are AWHF Media on Instagram now. We changed it up.
Well, thank you so much, girl. We loved having you on. We really appreciate it.
Such a pleasure.
We'll talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you soon. Let's catch up soon.